And that ice bath work actually started in 2013
Mm-hmm.
by having this endotoxin study experience with Wim Hof.
Okay.
I was one of those guys who got the endotoxin in my own arm here with an IV. I was one of the 12 guys for that first study to show the world that the techniques and the practice that Wim Hof has mastered in all his years could be transferred through him
Mm-hmm.
for healthy men.
All right. So, welcome to the One Social Life podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. It's all about breaking the ice, I would say, overcoming mental barriers and mastering social connection with Reem Ice. I'm very happy that he is coming onto my podcast. He is a very special expert, everything what has to do with ice, um, overcoming subconscious blocks, focus on confidence, and creating deep social connections. I'm very happy that you're here today, Reem. Welcome to the podcast. And could you introduce yourself a little bit for the people out there and say how things are going?
Mhm. Yeah, Julian, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here with you. Happy to have this conversation with you. Yeah, let's talk about the story, what I've gone through, how I got into this work, and yeah, I'm excited, man. Let's kick it up.
Yeah, let's jump in. So you focus a lot on trauma healing, mindset coaching, and you also do a lot of social events, especially here in Medellín, Colombia. That's where we are at
Hmm.
the moment, at this very nice place at your apartment. Yeah, thank you very much for being here and record this great episode. Um, yeah, can you maybe first talk about a little bit your experience here in general in Medellin when you came here and how you setting up your location here, your events, your coaching, how yeah, talk a little bit about your journey when you got here.
Hmm. Yeah, I came here January 2020 by a friend's tip. Hans Komein is a friend of mine. He said, like, Reem, I've traveled the world many years, and one city you really got to check out is Medellin, Colombia. That time I didn't know where or what it was. And that was actually recommended, I think, in 2016 and 2020. I finally made it here. And he said, like, you should definitely check it out. There are a lot of beautiful women. I'm like, well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
So that's the first year I came here, and the city got me hooked. However, I stayed for about 6 months, maybe a bit longer, and I decided the next year to came back. The reason for that was actually not too much women, but I made my community with ice baths. I started building that up. So I came back for community, for friends, and even the subsequent years. It's now 2025. So all those years I came back every year. It started with women, came back for community, and now it's like brotherhood and like deep friends that
Yeah, yeah. So you came right before COVID hit, right?
yeah.
So you came here and basically then probably 2 months later they shut everything down. Yeah, how did that go? I'm curious to know.
Yeah, there was at the time like there was a lot of panic in the world, like emergency flights back to the Netherlands, like miss it, it's important, and I was not too captured at all in the fear.
Mhm.
I have a background with like molecular life sciences, so I know about masks and viruses and immune systems and all that stuff, of course, with the work with Wim Hof. And I quickly realized that this was way more fearful than it actually was affecting most people.
Mhm.
So I wasn't too worried at all. I just did my thing. I was here in the parks having some conversation with the cops while they tried to lock me up in the house. But I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm just doing my thing. I'm doing the breath work in the park. And yeah, I found my way, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice. So you basically you have been during the whole COVID time around here, like shutdown, and yeah, and how was the situation here? Could you just go out there, stay in parks, or then cops came and wanted to lock you up to stay in, or how can I imagine how I can imagine
Uh,
it?
yeah, that was I was in the parks just with the Rappi guys, like the delivery guys here in Colombia,
Yeah.
and having some chats with them. For the rest, everyone was indoors.
Mhm.
Maybe some people with a dog or somewhere that were in the park. Um, yeah, I just chose to go out every day, even though
Yeah.
people said like it's not possible. So I had some deals with restaurants where they give me a meal without anyone seeing,
Ah,
and I
okay.
just had my little sandwich in the park, and yeah, I just flow with it, man.
Okay, okay, that's cool. Um, and your background, you are Dutch. You are from the Netherlands. You are born in. I always say Holland,
Yeah.
but I learned that it's wrong. Like most of the people, the whole country is called the Netherlands. But I grew up a lot in Germany, so we always say Holland.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, that's where you're originally from. And then you just said, okay, I need to get out of Europe. I need to travel. Did you travel before, or was this like your first thing you said, okay, I need to leave Europe and do something else?
No, I was already traveling 6 years in Southeast Asia, like mostly Thailand and Bali.
Hmm.
Some other countries as well: Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Malaysia. Quite a few of those, and after that, I felt ready for to explore South America.
Yeah, yeah. And now you are South America. You came here, and now you're basically stuck and never want to leave again.
Yeah, yeah, it's a place that captured me. Like as I
Yeah,
said, with the community, the people, and yeah, see, really as a hub with interesting people around to yeah really build up the business even more.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we met the first time in different circles, like a man group, and we get to know each other. We also did event together with Ice.
Hmm.
You are very like Ice expert because Reem Ice.
Yeah.
How did you came to the name? Because your passion is all about ice, then you say,
Yeah.
okay, I call it Reem Ice.
Yeah.
Can you talk or talk to people a little bit about your background, how you came to these, let's say, doing ice events, getting ice exposure? How did
Yeah.
you slip into all that?
Yeah. Yeah. First, the name it's Reem Ice is not my real name. My real name is Remy. But at the time I came to Medellin, I had no Instagram. I was like, well, let's make one.
Mhm.
Let's use the word or the hashtag like ice. I was like, oh, my name is Remy. Let's do Reem Ice. Remy, it caused a lot of misspellings in
Mhm.
Southeast Asia. Double M Y with a E with an accent on it. I was like, let's make it Reem, easy to remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's also got some confusion. So I ended up with Reem Ice, and I've used it here as a name where people know me from
Mhm.
being involved with the ice bath work. And that ice bath work actually started in 2013
Mhm.
by having this endotoxin study experience with Wim Hof.
Okay.
I was one of those guys who got the endotoxin in my own arm here with the IV. I was one of the 12 guys for that first study to show the world that the techniques and the practice that Wim Hof has mastered in all his years could be transferred through him
Mhm.
for a healthy man. And within just about a week time, we did in Poland, we did uh, ice immersions, water immersions, laying in the snow, sauna, meditation, yoga, certain exercises like handstands and everything to really get the body ready to deal with this endotoxin.
Mhm.
And what normally happens if people have not trained,
Mhm.
they are injected with this endotoxin, and for 4 to 6 hours, they are sick and miserable
Really?
like crazy. Yeah,
Oh,
vomiting,
yeah.
shaking, um, shivering, feeling cold, feeling hot, feeling big headaches, just like super sick. But what happened with us is that after 4 days of training,
Mhm.
we climbed a big mountain in Poland, and yeah, I felt like strong, mentally strong, physically strong. And there was a day in the hospital with the ultimate test, got the injection, the IV actually.
Yeah.
And I can remember that moment where the doctor looked at me like, "Are you ready?" I'm like, "I'm definitely ready. Let's go." And he switched the tap,
Yeah.
the IV machine. The substance was flowing in. And after I think about 20 minutes, I felt like a little bit of a headache,
Hmm.
like a 2%, 3% headache. And I started to intensify the breathing. The headache disappeared. And after that, I felt almost nothing. I passed out one time, just too intense breathing.
From
And
breathing.
yeah, from
Okay.
breathing, I came back and I saw like 8 people looking at me like, Remy, you went very deep. Like, take it easy, take it easy. And I'm like, I'm fine, guys. And that was the interesting thing. There was a lot of concerned faces, but in the back, Wim Hof, he was like looking like, that's good.
That's the
Like he
right
was very
direction.
chill, like he'd been there before. And yeah, I had a choice. Like, do I listen to this panic or do I listen to the master who has done it and knows exactly what's up and
Yeah.
the body can handle this? And I felt very confident, and that was for me the experience where I've seen that spiritual practices that Wim Hof also learned from the ones I think from the yogis in the mountains
Hmm.
with the tumo breathing,
Mm.
like generating heat. That's the spiritual side. It was now finding its way in science because in science they were saying like in about a week it's not really possible with this endotoxin and we cannot influence our immune system. But this was a study that really showed that our mind and our body is way more powerful than we think.
Yeah, yeah. But how did you actually then yeah, find Wim Hof? I mean, how is it like did you just read about it and then you said you want to try it out? How did you actually get to the point and say, okay, I want to do it? Like
Yeah.
somehow you had to meet him or his work. How did you
Yeah.
find that?
I At that time I was a student and I just finished studying. I
Hmm.
moved out of my old uh, student complex and I had a dinner with a housemaid there. And there was one moment I had a look at a flyer. There
Hmm.
was like a flyer delivered at the house, and I had a look and I told her like, "What is this about?" Oh, it's just like a research with some Iceman guy. I'm like, "Well, that can be very interesting."
Hmm.
And I read the flyer, and it was mentioned that he was a world champion, was looking for research volunteers. So that was for me the moment. Like I immediately called those guys. It was like 9 in the evening. Of
Yeah.
course, I didn't pick up the phone. I sent an email. The next morning, I called them again, and yeah, I got set up for a health test, like an extensive test with blood and heart pressure and all these things. And it took me about a few days to get the approval, and then I was officially in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's interesting. And then you kind of did the training and everything.
yeah,
And how did you then come to the point later on, just keep doing it? Did you find so much value to say, okay, that's something I want to focus on and do it regular, being exposed to ice
yeah,
and cold, and then just building from there?
yeah. So after this experience with Wim Hof, it was one of the coldest days in the Netherlands, and I was there with a
Yeah.
friend.
Oh.
And I said like, "Hey man, let's do some breath work. Let's take our clothes off." So we were like in a swimming shorts on bicycles in the Netherlands on this very cold day. I think it was literally the coldest day from the last 10 years. And we were there working with the cold in the city, cycling around. And that was for me a moment like, yeah, this is an interesting practice. I want to also help spreading in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was just before the travels. I moved to Thailand. There were some people doing ice events
Hmm.
already. They were coming out like within a minute, like frogs and panic and jumping out. I was like, guys, let me assist here. Uh, and then everyone was in the ice, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, like super quiet, super calm. So that's where I discovered one of the gifts of like really getting people in a mental and physical state to deal with. with the chaos of the
Mhm.
ice, with the shock, with it staying calm.
And when did you decide then to help others overcome like the same? When did you actually then start facilitate or then start to push other people to do the same? When was like the point you were saying, hey, I'm doing this privately now, but now I also want to help other people do the same.
Yeah, that was interesting because I came to Medellin and I was looking for a place where they had ice baths. I
Mhm.
wanted to make Medellin feel like home. That's for me always like connecting with people
Mhm.
who run communities. And I found a guy. His name is Jordan Winkelman. Great guy. He had a place set up in Poblado with an
Mhm.
ice bath, balcony, fire torches, meditation mats, and everything. And I right away offered him like, "Hey man, I've I have this background. You're here set up. Let's work together. Let's do a donation event. You can keep whatever you want. I don't need anything." And we had one of the first events. I think it was already like 65 people
Oh, okay. That's
ready for the ice
pretty
bath.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's. I think that was 2021.
Okay. Okay. So it's already 4 years now then,
Yeah.
more or less. And so how was then your journey from 4 years ago to now? How did you become then a leader in the space? And also, I think I know you do a lot of confidence coaching, helping people to overcome mental barriers, helping them with personal struggles. How did you then all shift into this direction?
Yeah. Yeah, the thing there is like I've used another modality like hypnosis. Trained for that also like 15 years ago.
Mhm.
I've always worked with that with one-on-one clients, even before I got famous here with like the ice baths. Um, what I've seen is like the ice bath, it's a practice to really see where someone is mentally. When someone comes in the ice, I can see if they practice, for example, martial arts, meditation, yoga, these type of things. I can immediately see how they deal with the cold, how they can control their mind, because pain happens in the mind, and we think it happens in the body.
Mhm.
But there are these videos of Vietnamese monk. There's actually one. He's burning himself
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
death as a demonstration act against the government or like something is there. And he is just in one position, very calmly going through it to the pain. He's not reacting. He's not screaming because he has the control over the mind. And that's what I see like having control over the mind and working with whatever comes. That has been my biggest interest because I studied this molecular life sciences where it was a lot about how the molecules are functioning, the genetics, DNA replication, diseases, how to solve it all on the substance and protein levels. But what's interesting is that in science we have this principle of the placebo,
Hmm. Yeah.
where we have a sugar tablet that we perceive as a medicine, and because our mind believes it's a medicine, we take it and it has the effects of the medicine. And it's often being associated with like, yeah, like, oh, nothing is working, we can create it ourselves. But that really shows that we can create our reality where we have the effects of a medicine while it's actually not the medicine itself. So instead of like looking at it like, oh, it's a substance that's not working, but what is working, that's our mind. We can create realities. We can create perception.
So it's a basically like, what would you say from a percentage what the mind actually can do? Because I think many people don't realize what the mind is capable of, especially when you go into the ice bar, especially if you break these barriers or also limited beliefs,
Yeah.
I would say. Um, what percentage would you actually say is the mind and what is from the body, or let's say also your own feelings?
I think as good as always as everything like is the mind. I want to go as far as that. Yeah. Because we really can create our associations.
Hmm.
We, for example, we have certain music songs that remind us of our first date with this beautiful girl at the beach in Brazil, for example. And we have all these memories. And when that song plays again, we get back into that state. So that's an association we have created that happens naturally. If you're walking in the city and an accident happens and you remember the corner, or here in Medellin, maybe like a shooting or something,
Yeah.
you remember the corner, you remember the cars, maybe the people, maybe it's a bit distorted, but once you walk in that street again, you think about it. So we have these anchors, these
Uh-huh.
associations. And these examples with the music song or this, like an accident, they happen spontaneously, uncontrolled. But we have the power to create them to how we want. So one thing I've created, for example, with hypnosis work,
Mhm.
if I have a client, I'll take a chewing gum and I chew it in a certain way, and that way I can get myself deeper into trance.
From actually chewing the
Chewing the chewing gum,
yeah,
I associated that
yeah,
feeling with going into trance, and
and it's a normal chewing gum.
it's a normal chewing
Yeah.
gum. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
normal chewing gum, but just the behavior and the action and the flavor, I've anchored that all to take me into a deep trance state myself. Because as a hypnotist, if you want to hypnotize people,
Mhm.
you need to go in a trance yourself first,
Yeah.
and then you can guide people, invite and guide them as well.
And how are people, let's say, receiving it? Are there different kind of people that are mentally open, mentally closed? Is it for some people it works, for some people not? Or how are there different levels to it?
There is something called susceptibility for hypnosis,
Mhm.
which means that some people can go into trance very quickly and fast. For some, they have certain resistances, which is not a bad thing, and they need a bit more work to calm the mind down with the critical factor, how they call it, and then to guide them into the trance. Because normally people have a critical mind.
Mhm. Yeah,
If I tell you like,
it's very logic then. Yeah.
if I tell you like you feel in the chair, you're calming down, you're like, no, I'm not calming down. I'm just sitting in the chair. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? So how hypnosis induction works is to make a few statements that are verifiably true.
Mhm.
Example, you're sitting in a chair, you're looking at me, you're holding a microphone, and then you can, these are like observable truths for you. You cannot deny that's not true. Like you are holding a
Yeah.
microphone
Yeah.
and you're
Exactly.
sitting, and then after those is a suggestion. So just notice how you're focusing on the breathing and it's taking you deeper down within. That's then being accepted by the subconscious mind because the four facts are true. And that way you can slowly reduce the observable facts and bring in more and more suggestions. And that way you can guide someone into the trance.
Okay, that's interesting because many people they see on the television when people they do hypnosis and they just come and do like this and then they fall down. So I don't know. I always think like, is this real or is this not? I mean, there's a certain process behind. What can you say about that? Like it's like very yeah. Sometimes on television, how
Yeah.
how do you see that?
Well, that's a certain type of hypnosis called stage hypnosis,
Hmm.
where a hypnotist is looking at the whole room and he is giving suggestions already, like close your eyes, and how the way they close your eyes, he can already get cues from how susceptible people are. You can say like fall asleep. Some people they just slowly close their eyes. Some they drop and really fall in the
Yeah.
seat.
So it's real. Like it's not.
It is real. It's
Yeah.
just the
Yeah.
thing what we often see. The ones who are on stage, those are the ones who are very susceptible.
Okay. So there are people that are very receptacle quickly to it, and that way it
Yeah,
works very well. And for other people, it just takes more time.
it takes a bit more time, and there's no good or bad. It's just how people are, internal words are yeah, configured, like how their mind is working, and we work with the people's mind.
Mm. And then you see certain people. You say, okay, that's like the type of guy or girl or whatever that is very receptive to it. And then you say, okay, when I do it with this person, then it works. pretty fast.
Well, I can work with anyone.
Yeah.
It's just a process. I'm always like checking in with someone, how far they are.
Mhm.
It's almost like a seduction, you know. Some women are very open, very sensual, very trusting. Some they need to build a bit of trust. It's like this constant checking in, and if there is resistance, work with it,
Mhm.
make it okay, because they also might have the idea that, for example, they don't feel fully safe. Can use some extra suggestions for that, or they just take a bit of time, but make it okay, that they don't start judging themselves for being
Mm.
resistant.
Than being too logical about it,
Yeah.
basically. Oh, okay, that's interesting. And how does this hypnosis then help? I mean, you talk also a lot about trauma, subconscious blocks. How does this come into the place in all this hypnosis, in ice works? How does this link together?
Mhm. Um, what I work with men is mostly in the areas of confidence, mindset, and creating beautiful relationships.
Hmm.
That's where many men are blocked. And what I found is that mostly it is related with how they relate to one of their parents,
Hmm.
either their mother, their father. They might have gone through as a child, gone through a divorce of their parents. That makes a certain imprint, a certain trauma, with some beliefs, maybe some disconnect to one of the parents, maybe some resentment. And those things create an impact on the nervous system as well. And they recreate, because they are familiar with that, they recreate that in their own relationships. So let's say that a girl, for example, has a problem with her father.
Hmm.
Father was absent, she never knew him, something like that. With hypnosis, you can suggest to these people, how do you imagine if your father told you, like, I love you and I hold you, and they get emotional because
Yeah.
the subconscious really recreates that, relives that, and that way they can receive something that they might have missed in their youth themselves. And by having the fully received that from a place of, literally, because the subconscious doesn't make a difference what's real and what's not real,
Hmm.
right? Like watching a horror movie, it can, we shake and we shock
Yeah.
because it feels so real. So in this suggestible hypnosis state, they can arrive to these resources that they have been missing in their life. And by fully doing that, making it very intense, that it overrides the original experience, that way they can recreate their past like that they've had a parent who was there.
Yeah. So you are trying to first then go back, for example, in the childhood, and then kind of see
Yeah,
what happened there in order to fix a certain issues
yeah,
or on this level, in order to see, okay, well, how can I then now change in present or in the now?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, it's not too much of the terms of fixing. It assumes that someone is broken,
Yeah.
and it's not that they're broken, but they have learned certain things.
Mm.
Let's say the father was absent for a woman. They have learned to deal with that, to survive. Like, okay, we don't need men. Um, I can do it all on my own. Um, Women are strong. Women don't need men. That's their inner world, and they start living from that. So that, you can imagine, that's a problem if they want to have a husband and want to
Yeah.
surrender in a good way to this man. That's becoming a block for them.
Yeah. So that's okay. That's, I can understand. That's why then, um, especially when let's say women have this kind of issue, they will then have also face problems in the relationship
Yeah,
in order to have like a lasting relationship or creating these or this connection with somebody else.
yeah, yeah. That's an example for women. With the men I work with is, for example, they feel a certain resentment for the father. The father wasn't there, or the father wasn't there emotionally, not emotionally available, maybe blocked off from his heart, and that's also something they have not yet fully developed in themselves. So if I work with these men, I make them really like feel and honor their father. Those are things, if they recreate that relationship with their father, they restore that relationship, then they can love themselves. They can feel emotionally free to show up with a woman in their full expression.
Hmm.
Which I will always say, like, freedom for a man is they can they can go into any emotion. They have the the ability to go there. So let's say like it's a funeral and you are able to cry. I'm not saying you should cry, you want to cry, but you can allow your body to cry. At the same time, as a man, you there are moments where you want to hold your emotions, not because it's suppressed or blocked automatically, but you have the freedom and
Hmm.
the choice to go or not go into emotions. That way you can regulate it. And that's often a freedom that men are missing.
Hmm. So is it like most of the time, like really on the father side and not on the mother side?
I've seen most cases with a father, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting, because most of the time, if somebody who doesn't know nothing about this, I wouldn't say, okay, I will now think that I had like some issues in the past with my father, because sometimes just like you are saying, it's normal, like you how you grew up, like things were happening. You don't even realize that might be an issue what you have today, that it
Yeah.
actually back in your past, back in
Yeah.
your with your relationship with your father. um how how at some point, at what point does this man then realize, okay, actually I need to go back to my past and actually think about what happened, and to see if that's my issue, because
Yeah.
I think many people, they just don't think that this even
Yeah.
exists.
That's exactly what's going on because this is in the subconscious mind. They don't see what's missing. But what they can sense is that relationships are not working. They're attracting, for example, not no women at all. They don't attract the right ones. If they have relationships, it's very toxic,
Mhm.
dysfunctional relationships. They lose interest. They cannot keep a woman interested because they end up in, for example, nice guy, pleasing behaviors. That way are a sign that shows that something like internally is not fully yet in place, and that's a way to open up the conversation with these men, like, hey, like, I can resolve this for you with you.
Mhm. Okay. And how does then come, let's say, the ice bath into place, breath work, mindset coaching, cold exposure? Is this like all then something that includes into the in, let's say, into the change of a man and the mental barriers? How does this all, let's say, fit together?
Yeah, that's very interesting. There is one model that I teach. It's a model from a guy, from some guys named AMP, Authentic Man Program, and they have the model of the first step is presence, the second step is appreciation,
Hmm.
third step is integrity, the fourth one is wholeness, and the wholeness flows back to presence. And if that's like going on, there's a layer around it all. It's like play. So to give you a quick example how that model works in reality, let's say I'm present. Let's say I'm on a date and I'm present with my body.
Hmm.
I feel a bit nervous, not sure what to say. I put myself pressure on what to say next. And I'm in my head. I'm not with this girl. You can see that's a moment where we can go into presence. Like, how am I feeling? How my body is feeling? How is she feeling? How is the space? I'm having a sense of the things around. So I'm present in this world, with what's going on right now. Then I can appreciate what's going on. I feel a bit of nervousness. Okay, I can appreciate it. The girl is a bit cold still. Okay, I can appreciate it. I put a pressure on myself of what to say next. So I'm pressuring myself instead of being in the moment. I can appreciate it also. And then is the integrity. Like, am I expressing myself in alignment with what's going on?
Hmm.
So I can, for example, say, hey, it's interesting. Like, with you, I feel a little bit nervous. And it's quite funny because normally I don't feel that much nervousness. So maybe I'm just a bit more attracted to you than usually. like finding a way to express this. And if it's coming from this place of presence and appreciation, it's very well received. Because often we try to hide, for example, nervousness,
Yeah.
and then we create this fake persona, and then things are not working. We try to be the James Bond that's like cool and relaxed
Yeah.
all the time.
James Bond.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but we're not in alignment. So if we own that and we have confidence around this nervousness, then we can also like transform this nervousness and be really okay with it. So that's the integrity. Then the wholeness, as you can see, it arrives like it's becoming a whole thing. There's no separation between what's real and what's happening. And then the play can start. Then we can love ourselves, play with whatever is going on, and that's when a dance can about to happen. For example, on a date with a girl, and how this links to ice beds. What I've seen for me, the ice beds is one great way to work with the mind, getting in tune with the body, how the body sensations. Is there, for example, just right in the ice, there's a bit of pain. Is it a numbing pain? Is it a pulsing pain? Is it a constant pain? Is it a vibrating pain? Is the pain intensifying or staying the same? That's a real great practice to practice this presence with the body, relating with the mind, what's real, what's not real. And yeah, that's what I've seen. It's a great way to develop this presence on a daily basis. And that links up to with hypnosis as well. If there are, let's say, lots of thoughts like
Hmm.
I'm not good enough, I need to impress this girl, does she like me? These are all limiting thoughts that are uh, not really helpful, because it's coming from a frame of I need to prove myself, and this girl is the prize, and that creates an interference in a natural dynamic.
Yeah, it also creates, like you're mentioning, a lot of pressure. I know a lot of guys, especially when they also come to me. What I see a lot, they overthink a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's it's imaginable how many people just overthink when they want to even just approach. It's not even said that they want to approach a girl, or just also people in general. They overthink. Think, okay, when I go there, what do other people think about me? What if it's a girl? What she will think about me? What should I say? What should I do? Um, there's just so much fear in doing things wrong and then not being present, and that's why a lot of guys, they close up.
Yeah.
They close up and they don't know how to break this barrier,
Mhm.
how to go in there into conversation, just being loose, just being yourself, or just playing around,
Mhm.
because it's a lot about their head. And what I learned, if you can become present, if you do, for example, ice bath, if you have a form of being in the present moment without overthinking too much, then it really helps to create these connections, to create, let's say, cool conversation, especially with girls, but also in general with other people.
Mhm.
And I think that's what then really helps, that you have something like for ice bath, you work on your, let's say, on your mental health or mental fitness, maybe you can say, in
Mhm.
order to overcome come this. How What would you say to someone who has this problem, let's say, all the time? I'm shaking, overthinking when I meet a girl.
Yeah, well, it's two layers. One is the subconscious beliefs that they, for example, a common one is I don't want to bother her,
Oh yes,
and
yes.
it's coming from a place. Really, the frame is she's more important than me. Her life, what's going on in her life, is more important than what I want. So there's the misalignment. Because let's say you're Brad Pitt, he walks up to girls. Oh, she's busy, no problem. But he is not even thinking about it. So that's a subconscious construct that men live in. That's really limiting them. Even if they have the confidence in that frame to still walk up, they still have this idea of I need to prove myself. Like, do you have a minute? Can I bother you? Am I disturbing you? there's this validation seeking behavior going on, which might repel girls because girls are looking for confident men who show up and just
Yeah.
get to the point and
Yeah,
claim
exactly.
what they want. That's
Yeah.
what they are looking for in a man. That's a subconscious thing. On a really a practical level with like presence, what I always teach men is if it's about approaching women, they see a girl and their mind starts to come up. What I say is like move your left hand almost all to the left side,
Hmm.
and it's like that you cannot see it anymore. So you just see it coming in, and then with your right side as well at the same time. So you have two arms,
Hmm.
and then you watch your arms, your hands, while you're still looking at the girl. So you take it all in. You're looking at the girl. You're seeing your right arm, the left hand here, right hand, and from that place, it silences the mind. So that's a great way to get yourself to approach the one you want to approach.
Okay, that's a kind of makes you then not think in the moment about,
Yeah.
okay, oh, what will she think about me when I
Hmm.
approach her?
Because this is the peripheral vision that's like sensing all the environment.
Hmm.
And often when we are in a fearful state, let's say like in the back all days, the saber-toothed tiger is running after us, everything like that. We have this narrow-minded focus. Like, where is it? Where to go next? We have this tunnel vision. So by changing that vision, we change our internal state.
Yeah. Yeah. And how, I mean, there are different kind of, let's say, guys. And how do you see difference? Because we have a lot of people, they are, let's say, successful in business. They they all, let's say, they have everything set up in their life. They have a cool job, cool business, maybe a cool apartment, everything kind of set. But then the social life, then they were coming up the problems. On the other side, you have maybe guys who has not a lot going on for them, but they're just going out there and being confident and just don't give a give a damn
Mm-hmm.
about what things happen. They are then more successful. Is it like really like the high performance guys or high intelligence also that really think then more deep? Oh shit! Like now I need to be social. Now it's this and that. Compared to others, they just do it. Do
Yeah,
you see a big difference there?
that's exactly the play with the model I've described before, like presence, appreciation, integrity, wholeness. Going back to presence, and then the play. The ones who don't think they are playing, they are like kids. They're playing football. There's no importance of like, oh, gotta perform here. They're just having fun. Kids, they are singing, they're dancing, they're playing with the dogs. They don't think. So when it's like thinking happening, it's a block for presence, and that leads to a block for play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's where the subconscious
Mm,
comes in. Like, what are the thoughts? Because if you work with the subconscious and you have a thought coming in, like one that I installed and that I really believe, every woman is open for a conversation. That's a belief I have. It's not reality, but it's a belief. And but that belief allows me to go up and show up in front of a woman.
it also transport if you have the attitude and the thinking of it just will work well.
Yeah.
So you already transport the energy from you to the other person, and then the other person will be more open in general.
Yeah. Yeah. And this again, it's not just a like a thought, like I read it on a paper. Okay, like okay, I'm confident. Yeah, I'm confident. It needs to be really a belief. It needs to be in the subconscious, locked in that that's really what you believe.
Mhm. And how much time takes this for someone? Oh, I'm not confident at all. I I have so much fear to approach girls in general. How can someone then say, okay, now I start working on this? Of course, he needs to realize it, but many people they want it, but then they don't want to put down the, let's say, the taking action part. They are not consistent. How would you say that someone who is in this stage can then get to breaking these limiting beliefs?
Yeah, one I would say is the vision. Like, how do you envision yourself as a fully integrated man? For me, it's important that a man like this, like that in my world, and I think for most of them as well, that you see yourself as a man who can approach at all times in a supermarket, not having brushed your teeth, your hair is messy, and you don't feel at your best. Maybe you have a little bit of I don't know, not enough sleep for a night. You're working. Can you at that time make the switch and show up? That's a skill I believe every man needs to have.
Yeah.
If you have that skill and you know as a man that you have that skill, you live in a different world because you know that women will never be a problem. You can always have opportunities to create new connections.
Yeah.
And that's something that many men are missing.
It's like the goal to create this social freedom, being social, so you can go up to everybody at every time, whenever you
Yeah,
want.
whenever you want. And I really get it, guys. Like, there are these men, they live in a world of, and it's right. They're like, yeah, women, they give these choosing signals. So I don't want to approach women who don't give me signals. So this whole approaching thing, I don't like it. Okay. But do you have quality women in your life? Is your life working? And even though I believe it's good to develop a sense of this language of women when they look at you, when they ask you these random questions while they show interest, when they move closer to you, are you attentive to all these social cues? That's the main skill for a man. But there are times when she just didn't had a chance yet to see you in your element when you are doing an event or you're leading a group,
Yeah.
or like some women just don't see the chance yet. Let's say in a supermarket, it's just a
Yeah, yeah, they don't
random
know you
girl,
at
random
all.
guy.
Yeah.
They don't know you at all. They
Yeah.
haven't seen your Instagram. They haven't seen what you're up to. So in those moments, there also are girls that you feel attracted to and want to approach. As a man, you must have that skill to at least do it, and then it's up to your life how you design your lifestyle to what degree you need that.
Yeah, yeah. What I really like to like approach anxiety, right? If you kind of know how to deal with it, it's like a trigger point for me. If, for example, if I see a girl I like, then it comes this anxiety.
Yeah.
And in the past, it was like, oh, I cannot approach. Like I'm kind of like frozen, and because I get this anxiety, and then I'm not pushing through it, but I'm going a step back. Oh no, I cannot approach because I'm having this anxiety.
Mhm.
And nowadays for me it's like a trigger. So when I have this feeling, because I think the feeling, at least for me, doesn't go away. I mean, maybe it goes a little bit down if you are used to it, if you approach people when you have anxiety. But for me, it's like a trigger point when I see, okay, the anxiety comes, that actually tells me, okay, now you need to go.
Mhm.
Like now there's no other option to go, because it's like a trigger point.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, it's like very important to kind of, when you get this feeling, to just push through and not holding back.
Yeah.
But it's very, very difficult at the beginning to not hold back. How do you think, in your idea, how to overcome this approaching anxiety, social anxiety, how to overcome that?
Yeah. For me, first of all, in my world, that's what I've created internally. I don't work with the word anxiety. I keep it because it's a meaning, right? Same as pain.
Mhm.
But what's really going on is a sensation. There's a slightly contracting sensation, and I don't call it anxiety. Anxiety works for me like paralyzing. What I see, I call it excitement. Like there is something excited here, and I
Yeah.
am excited because it's something new. It's something worthy to explore. So that's first of all like the internal meaning of the rewiring the word anxiety. Then again, the second thing is like once I sense that, I program myself for years with paid hypnotists as well to immediately act on it. I'm sometimes in front of a girl and I'm even like, okay, I'll take 1 microsecond and then I'll talk. I'm like, whoa, I'm here already.
Yeah.
For me, one of the problems was not to approach, like, not at all like thinking about what to say or whatever. For me, the problem is if I'm in the mall and seeing girls, or in the street, to not being run over by a car, because sometimes
Yeah.
I just run.
Oh yeah, I remember these times. Yeah, it's yeah, I like the kind of the trigger, the
Yeah.
um yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to describe it, but it's when you then go through the process, when you're actually doing it, I think you're quite so far how you are explaining to me, you are very quick, definitely quicker than me. Because sometimes you still fall back in overthinking, um, but then you are aware of it, because you're aware of it, what actually is happening, and then you already know, you have it maybe done a hundred of times before, where you just push through and you just need to do it again, rather than keep thinking and then the situation is gone. Especially if you say, if somebody walks down the street and goes on the other side and then goes somewhere in, or goes into a
Yeah.
taxi. Uh, so not waiting the right moment, because I think there isn't probably not a right moment. Sometimes maybe it is, but most of the time we say, okay, oh, now I need to wait for the right moment. It's not the right moment, but
That's again the presence,
yeah,
because the mind is busy with the future, and that's not being present.
yeah, because the right moment probably never will come. It's the moment where you are right now is basically the right
And
moment.
that's all that we have. And there are some things, some exceptions, I would say. Let's say there's a small store, a girl is paying for something, and you kind of know that in the next 1 or 2 minutes she's walking out of the store and she is done with the paying with the credit card, everything. That can be a moment to intentionally wait, but that's like a very predictable next moment. But most of the time we trick ourselves thinking, oh, it's not the right moment, because we don't want to, because we don't appreciate this moment.
Yeah,
Right? There's a lack of appreciation. Like, oh, it's nervous. Oh, it's not the right moment. No, there's no appreciation for it.
yeah, yeah. It's
There's a
like the
presence, but
social
there's no
intelligence.
appreciation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very interesting. Um, yeah, because you intend just to wait for the right moment, and I think that's very yeah. It's very important to understand that it is not the right moment, but there can be some kind of, if you are social intelligent, like you're saying, okay, somebody
Exactly.
is paying, or somebody's just talking to her, like in the store, and it's not like you just going and interrupt
Exactly.
everybody. So there's some social intelligence behind it.
Yeah.
But still, if it's just like a normal situation, um,
Yeah.
then it, just
Yeah.
go for it.
And that's the thing, to make a clear, honest distinction about those two. Because often the man with fear, it's we trick ourselves.
Yeah.
And for me, I can also share with you guys, if I see, for example, here in Colombia, there's a bit of the culture where couples are together, but they're not really together.
Oh
For
yes,
me, together
that's
is like,
South American culture.
for me, together is
Yeah.
like holding a hand.
Like married.
No, yeah, but like hand holding, and the eyes focus on each other. That's for me like being together, like with a couple. But what I see a lot is like there's a couple, they're holding the hand, and one of the two is like looking outside,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a metaphor, as
yeah.
a visual image for how they are not together. If I see it like that, if I see a woman, a pretty woman, looking around, flirting around, trying to make eye contact with other men, I don't consider it as a couple, and I just go in.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I think. Let me see. I never.
I'll take a
Yeah.
shot and I'll quickly see what's up. Maybe they have a little bit of an argument. It's a moment, and if the girl is like, "No, I'm taken. Don't you see it?" and she moves back to the guy, I'm like, "Okay, good." But if I sense the girl is like, "Hey, who are you?" I'll go for the seduction, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting, because I also know, I noticed, even like a lot of girls, they are friends with, let's say, just friends with guys,
Yeah.
or they're hanging out with them, but like say they are not together, they have nothing, um, yeah, nothing with each other. And because a lot of people, especially in Colombia or in South America in general, they are moving in groups. There are mixed
Yeah.
groups, men, women, um, mother, daughter, family, or whatever. And then to not think about, oh, like in the group there are two guys, maybe one guy could be her boyfriend or not. And basically most of the time it's not. It's like just a good
Yeah.
friend or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And then just to also be comfortable of approaching groups, of being social. It's not like all the time you need to go straight like seducing a woman. It's also to get to know people, to approach a group,
Yeah.
to be a social guy, and then things can also develop naturally
Hmm.
anyways.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a big point. I see, especially here in Colombia or in South America, because Latino culture is a lot of familiarity, a lot of groups, a lot of friends together having fun, in compared to Europe, or the US, where it's more individual.
Hmm.
I would say. Now, would you then go on, let's say, going into to getting to know different groups or connecting groups with each other? How do you see that?
I'm not too much into those environments actually, where there are like big groups.
Hmm.
I'm not there too much. What I can imagine, for example, if I'm in a restaurant, I see a group, and I got some ideas that it's not like all couples. Maybe it's, for example, 5 girls and 3 guys. That's like, okay, there's maybe some kind of opportunity. I'll just go in and I go right to the girl that I like, but still like acknowledge the man, but not too much talking like, hey man, what's your name? Where you from? Oh yeah, the cool dress. Who's that girl? For me, that's like fake. I don't do it like that. I go right away to the girl and say, hey, you're quite pretty. Like, hey guys, like, is this one of your girlfriends here? Like, and then someone might raise their hand, like, yeah, it's my girlfriend. I'm like, wow, man, that's a good catch. Like, take good care of this girl, man. Like, I can see it's a beauty, and I'll wish them honestly from my heart, like, all the best.
Yeah.
And if I see it's either a relationship that's not that great, I don't see it like as like breaking up relationships, but I mean, we live in a world here with abundance. There's an abundance
Mhm.
of women, there's abundance of men, there's an abundance of money. Uh, for me, freeing people from a toxic or unhappy relationship, I really believe it's a way to give them a chance to go for what they really want, like a really a fulfilling relationship.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a good point that you're mentioning regarding abundance, the abundance mindset. I think that's a very important one. Many people, they have this scarcity mindset.
Yeah,
They they actually, they have the fear of losing something and not
yeah,
to win something. To having this abundance, or focus too much on one person. That's
yeah,
also something. And not having in mind, oh, there's a lot more out there actually you can explore.
yeah,
You have the abundance mindset. And if you have the abundance mindset, you can actually be also more calm, and you don't need to think, oh, I need to make this thing happen,
yeah,
because you will say, okay,
yeah,
there's a lot more things going out
yeah.
there.
And that's again another very important one. There are two things here I want to mention. One is the outcome dependency. Many men are needy and they have this forced outcome, almost like looking for a business sale, like, okay, the money is getting tight. I really need a client. That people feel that stuff. So if you have the skill of like approaching women and you just you make some openings, some quick check-ins, there's no pressure. You don't need to have this number from this specific girl. That's coming from a lack of options. If you have options going, then there's no pressure for this girl to for yourself as well to get specifically that girl. She can feel your desire, and I always let them know my desire. Like, I really feel like you have something, like, I let them feel that, and then I explore if there's an opening, and if not, I'm completely okay with it.
Yeah.
That's one thing. So the outcome dependency, that's often a block for men. They really need it. It's this desperate neediness. But the other thing is also, when is a man ready for a relationship? I learned this from Hans Komein. Credits to Hans.
Yeah.
As a man, can you be alone? For me, alone means, do you have your ice bed practice, spiritual practice? Can you be in a forest? Can you go camping, for example, 1 month? Can you be in the mountains or in a monastery, whatever, for 1 month? And are you okay with yourself? So that's self love, feeling complete, not needing anything. Like, do you have that as a man? Many men don't have it. They need all the time his attention and being with groups. And I'm not saying they need to be isolated, but I say, can they do it? It's again this freedom. Can they be alone and be complete? First thing, being alone. Second one, can these men say no to girls that like them, but they don't like them really? So there are these girls that like respectfully saying like, yeah, it's not really my type, but I can get some quick sex. Yeah, let's go for it. Can they say no to that? Because it's again not really creating what they really want. In the end, all we have is time. Time is money. All that we have is the most precious resource we have. Are they really spending their lifetime with pleasuring women and being with women that they don't really feel a strong desire for? Like, what is that for a behavior? So that's the second thing, saying no to women who like them, but the women they themselves don't really like. And the third thing is saying no to women who they actually really like. So like, wow, this is this model type of girl. She wants to hang out with me on a Saturday, but I need to finish some work. So sorry, I'm going to say no to you for this weekend. If the man has all those three, can be alone, can say no to the ones they don't like, and can say no to the ones they do like, then they're ready for a relationship. Because then they can enter a relationship with a girl, and let's say the girl is not behaving well, uh, she's like emasculating the man, he feels like he's walking on eggshells. That's of course one thing can be prevented, but if it's there, if the man does not have these three things, he stays. It becomes a toxic, compromising relationship, and they both gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah. It
And
doesn't
that's the
help
thing. Like,
both.
if
Yeah.
you come from this place where you have those three things handled, and you have the cold approach skill where you can make new connections easily, you can say from a very powerful friend, like, hey, I wish you really all the best. I wish myself all the best. But we have this third uh, entity, like a relationship for both of us. And that one is just not working. We're not the same. It's not working. It's not flowing. It's better for us to split up. So you have the way better life ahead, and I wish it really for you and for myself as well. Then you can make a stand for love in general instead of my needs being met with this girl because there's no other option. I need my needs met. It's a completely different way of living.
Yeah. It's like the yeah, like also mentioning the neediness of just things, and that's never helpful, because you're coming from a place of um you actually need something and not give something.
Yeah.
I'm always like a big friend of giving value instead of taking value,
Yeah.
because if I think, okay, I will give, eventually something comes back, and if not, it's also okay. I'm not thinking about, okay, what do I get out of it?
Yeah.
Of course, you always kind of create win-win situation for everybody. You don't always will want to be the one that just give and never receives back.
Yeah.
but but from the mindset here of first like giving and not actually needing, I think this mindset will help you in a lot of different situations.
And that's again very important. Like, this giving comes from a man who is already complete.
Yeah.
A man who is complete and he invites a girl, like, hey, I have this event going on. Feel free to join me. That's giving value. That's giving real value.
Yeah.
And that's different than from a man like, hey, I kind of want something from you, and I think this is a good way to give you some value so you may like me, and you think of me like, wow, you're this amazing guy. And yeah, it's a trick to get somewhere. if you're coming from that place, it's also different. That's not really giving. That's giving while you want to get something, but
Yeah.
that's not giving.
Yeah. It's not.
Giving is
Yeah.
like, hey man, I have $10 and I give you this bill and you can do with it whatever you want. And I'm fine with, after I give it to you, I'm completely unattached. That's a giving. And often we give like a compliment. Hey, wow, you really have a nice dress. You look amazing. We giving that compliment with the idea and with the hope that she will be like, gives us a certain reaction of like, wow, you're an amazing man. Who are you? So we're looking for this
Validation.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 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 That's definitely the case. I see this a lot out there, and it's hard. It's hard to change this mindset. Because if you used to it over time,
Yeah.
I meet a lot of different people, and and you realize very fast how other peoples are moving with just yeah just observing
Yeah.
basically.
I sense it in the hesitation from men. They speak to me before they speak with a girl. For example, oh, that girl there, yeah, oh, yeah, I go to her in a few minutes. It's like I'm already there.
Yeah. Oh, where are you? Oosh.
Yeah,
Oh, gone.
like I'm like, hey, give me a second, man. Hey, who are you? I just saw you here. I'm here with my friend. Come have a look. Come join us.
Yeah.
That's what I see. Like there's this hesitation, but also what you've been saying. Like it takes a long. It's hard to change. This is all behavior that's automatically coming from the subconscious wiring, and it's again, if it's hard for people to change and they've used it for all these years, if you make a change in the subconscious, everything changes. And if you can change this paradigm with a man, they put themselves here. And often they think about, like in pickup stuff, they talk about warm-up sets and all these
Yeah.
things. I never believe in it. It's, for me, it's like you're playing like Champions League, you're approaching a girl that you really like. That's a different league than girls who are there. You need to get social, let me talk, warm up a bit. I don't believe in that at all. For me, it's like you're a man who is like, oh, there's my really hot model, like a 10 out of 10, visually, what you know, of course. And like, holy shit, go right away. That's for me a man. For me, a man is not like, oh, I need some warm up sets and then I feel more comfortable. I'm in the flow and then I can talk up to her. Because the thing is, if there's the warm up sets, like let's say the girl of the man sees himself here, the warm up sets, oh yeah, they're easy. That way they can build some momentum so that they can go for the ones they really want. But that's still again in the frame of you're here and that girl is here.
Yeah.
Why are you not here? And that's the thing. You create this value for yourself. Like
Basically all the time
let
be here.
her, let her say no to you. Hey, I want a man who's a millionaire and you're not there yet. Okay, but let her come up with it. Instead of yourself, you talk yourself out of the deal. That's the thing. You create this. That's in your head. Why are you not here? And that's even a question for men. Why are you not here? Yeah, I need to be a bit more muscular. Okay, go to the gym. Yeah, I need to be a bit more social. I'm playing video games all day. Okay, quit it. Do you want to quit it? Do you want to be here? That's a question men need to ask themselves.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. If they see themselves here and the girl here, often it's a way they would admit, like it's in a way true. Yeah, I am not this great man. And I was like, okay, you're not doing the work to become that great man. On the work of fitness, gym, spirituality, social, family, restoring relationships with family. Um, there are these things that men don't want to work on, and that's a problem because if I would ask these men, would you date yourself, right? Or if you ask here a Colombian model, like I don't know, I've dated a few models. Would like being this model, would you date Remy? I'm like, hell yes, absolutely, yeah. I have my spiritual practice. I'm working with mentors on business. I'm very dedicated. I take a lot of care for my energy, for my health, nutrition, sleep, natural lifestyle, social, family. I'm working on all areas and it's going very great. I love myself. Hell yes, I would date myself. And that's the thing. If that's a no for a man, that's interesting. If they don't believe they are worth dating, they can do all the actions, but the girl will feel his belief system and the man will create reaction from the woman.
Yeah, definitely.
Rejections.
Definitely. Yeah. And that's like how, yeah, you start, of course, with yourself, moving you up, building these different areas out. So
Mhm.
so working on everything actually that help you to grow and then to become on the level, but also from the mind. If you like you're saying, if you think I'm here, I'm not worth it, you never will can make it happen. So you
Yeah.
need to develop this belief in order to be up there, in order to be on the same, or say on that level you actually want to be, even if you are probably not there yet, but from the thinking you are already there, and then there is a certain way you can go
Yeah.
to get there. And of course you need to take massive action. You cannot just stay at home doing nothing. So
Yeah.
you really need to create something. You need to be the man. I always say, like, being the leader is so important in things, that you take responsibility about things what you do, and you are aware of it, that where you want to be
Yeah.
and how do I get there, but then take actions to actually get there, and not talk. That's very important. I mean, it's always human that sometimes,
Hmm.
you mess up, but it's only, but if you have like a goal and you go step by step
Yeah.
and doing the right actions, but doing the actions.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about taking action,
Yep.
and then you can actually at some point get there where you want to be, and it actually never stops.
Yeah.
Like, even if you reach some level, there's always
Yeah.
something new you want to discover. But that what it actually makes magic in my mind, because you just keep going, just keeping improving, taking action, meeting other people that are on the same journey, and that's what I say. Enjoy the journey, because the journey probably never ends.
No, that's the thing. It never ends. There's always work to do. For me, it's important is the man committed to the path to greatness. And commitment means things are showing up, you're making sacrifices, you're working hours late. If you're committed on business creating, that means, yeah, you work hours late. If you're committed on becoming a more healthy man, yeah, you skip those shitty trash meals. So you make sacrifices. That's for me a sign of being committed. Like, sacrifice is not like letting go of something like, it's not a problem, but like this really nice thing. I know it's really nice, this meal, whatever, but I say no to it so I have something even nicer. That's a commitment that comes naturally if a man is committed. And then for me, I don't make a distinction if the man is already has arrived at the finish line or is committed on arriving at the finish line.
Mm.
For me, those are exactly the same. And I expect a woman to also see that. If she does not see the sense of commitment, then it's also probably not my girl.
Yeah, yeah. It's I think what you just said plays a lot into delaying gratification,
Yeah, that's the thing.
of not okay, I have achieved this, I need
Yeah,
to get some, I don't know, some bonus or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it is, but then the delay in actually the gratification,
yeah,
and then keep going,
yeah,
and then not falling. Like,
yeah,
for example, I make the first big sale in my business or whatever, and oh, now I made it, right?
yeah,
It's very important to, like, the delay the gratification. It's not that you cannot do something good for you,
yeah,
like, but to have the mindset of actually delaying things and not falling right into the trap. Oh, now I closed the deal and I'm partying for 2 weeks or
yeah.
something like this.
Exactly. And that's interesting because this gratification is coming in because we subconsciously start to sabotage ourselves. We don't put in the work that's required and needed So we distract ourselves because subconsciously we believe we don't deserve it. So that's how we create our reality.
Yeah.
And that can be changed in the subconscious where you really get clear on this is the man who I want to become. I'm doing the work, and that's the only thing. So for me, it's like, man, they live their life day by day on being the man of greatness, or they're just developing themselves into, let's say, like a loser. It's either the hero or the loser. Every day we have those days. And what I've also seen in myself, and that's a very interesting one, when it comes down to gym, to diet, if it's 100% of this greatness, 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 that leads to almost like a tumor growing type of a explosive charge where one day you completely drop back to the opposite. So what I see for myself is that if I'm on the path of greatness, that's like a 95% greatness, and then there's the 5% to take a bit of the to fuse it a bit off, like of the pressure of the to have that imbalance, like it's a 95.5% balance. Same with diets. If you look at these ones who really study nutrition, the ones who are ultra strict, cannot eat this, not eat this, there's a violence against
Oh yeah.
the having this little bit of fun, of pleasure, of like a treat, like a dessert. Those are the guys that have, like, it's Christmas Day, and their grandmother, they see them once a year, cook this very nice little torta or cake, and like, hey, I've cooked this for you. It's so great to see you, grandson. Have a bite. And I was like, no, I'm on my diet. I don't eat sugary cakes. That's not life. For me, it's like the 95.5 where you really know I can take a little bit of that, little bit
Yeah.
of that, so it doesn't create a conflict inside.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a strong desire for cake sometimes, and I get probably a cake once per month,
Mhm.
just because I really enjoy it, and I know at this moment, like, oh, now it's like the day of the month to get this cake,
Yeah.
right? And but then also something you have like an objective to say, oh, now I'm getting this cake, and you
Yeah.
are really happy to actually get it, because you I feel like then I actually deserve then to
Yeah.
get this piece of cake, but I'm still know I'm, let's say, disciplined doing my things during the month, for example.
Yeah.
But then I know, okay, now I having this cake, now I can actually
Mhm.
enjoy
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
the complete cake or whatever, not thinking, oh, now I'm feeling like totally bad because I got
Mhm.
this cake.
Yeah. That's for me also the distinction I make with like being disciplined. It's like this 95.5, it's a lot of discipline. But if it's 100.0, I think about like it's becoming rigid. And we don't like rigid people.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It can then turn out the other way. That's what you actually then don't want.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I also would like to talk a little bit like building networks, especially here in Medellin. I know you are a lot of in different circles. You might meet a lot of people. How did you get into that of saying, okay, I am now living here in this city, or I was quite new. I'm building my network. How was it for you for importance of doing that, building strong networks?
Yeah, for me, I started myself creating events
Hmm.
because that was the value I can offer and bring. So that's where I started. There was one event where Carl from the men's circle, he showed up. He said, hey, I'm thinking about setting up a men's circle here. I'm considering a Tuesday. That's exactly the Tuesday at the time where I had the ice events. I'm like, well, man, like, heart to heart, no problem. I get it. Days are precious. If you leave the Tuesday, don't worry, man. We work it out. No problem. I'm good. In the end, I moved my ice bed to another date, and I was attending both the men's circle from him and my own ice events at that time at a Thursday. So that's one way where, with my own events, I met people who organize events as well. And I'm joining them, and there I meet a lot of new people. So it's always, yeah, these type of events where I meet a lot of people. And recently, I also created like cigar nights
Yeah.
where certain men I won't say I look up to, but I see they are really serious on their life. They have their biohacking protocols in place, their supplements, their personal trainers, their health, their business, how they dress, how they present themselves, how confident they are, the network that they bring. I can quickly sense if a guy is serious on life or not. And those nights are for the ones that I'm inspired by men. There are men I'm inspired by, and I invite them. They can bring new quality men, and that's like a self-running, self-growing thing I've created. And it's yeah, man, have a wonderful time.
Yeah. And how important is that actually for you then to organize these events, to being a leader, to having the control, okay, who is coming, who is not coming, um, because you are taking action of being the leader and make something happen.
Yeah,
So you can actually choose who I want to be around
yeah,
with, who I want to network with,
yeah.
men, women, or whatever it is. So you have to control how important is that for you, and how could you also advise, let's say, to other people, especially when they are seeing this, when they want to create a social circle, to be that leader? How important is that?
So the question is like, how important is it to be the leader? Or
Yeah, how important is the yeah being a leader in creating, for example, a social circle that you can actually choose who you want to hang around with, and be the one that makes something happen? How important is that?
for me, it's very important because one example with the cigar nights as well. I was like, cigars, I'm new to this, but it has something interesting, like some good conversations can happen. I'm like, how much do I want to smoke them? I don't want to become a smoker. So, like, once a month, okay, who do I want to smoke with? With two friends, or you want to meet some new people? Well, I actually want to meet some new people. Okay, so once a month, meeting some new people. Can I host it in my own house? Well, no, because the smell goes in everywhere. So that's not the place. I need to find a place. And from that intention of what I wanted to create for myself, I've seen that, like, if I like it, probably other people also like it. And from that place, that whole idea came, and that's why I had these relationships with the ones from the cigar lounge. Made an event page, man coming. I interview them before they join, and that way I can create an experience which is literally not for everyone, but the ones who are there, they see like, wow, Remy, this is really quality man here and a great time. And what I ask from them is like to show up at 8. So we're all there at 8. So we use our time well. And we go from 8 until 10, maybe a bit after. So we have 2 hours really quality time. And I've explained it, why it's like this. So there's not place for people who come at 9:30. Hey guys, let me shake hands. I'm out of here. Quick, quick, quick. No, we start all and we end all. And that's an experience they sign up for or not. And that's okay. But I'm not having events where that's generally my style, where people want to stay for an hour, the one is leaving, and there's already someone else coming in an hour late because there's a 3 4 hour meeting window. No, I like to have that all at the same time so we can have a good use of our time. Time is precious, time is valuable. And yeah, the ones who understand that, they show up there on time. And I've had some people, I gotta say no to a few people, like, hey, showing up consistently late, I'm sorry, but this place is just not for you. You either don't perceive the value, and that's okay. Like, I have not, it's nothing against personal, but I want to create something, and I need a few things to have happen to have that created, and then we can have a wonderful time.
Yeah, yeah. So you are doing the cigar nights here in Medellin.
Hmm.
You are doing your own ice events.
Yeah.
You're going to other events. Is there anything else you do to be social? Do you also go out, just go out and take some people with you? So what else do you do these three things you mainly do to grow your social circle here in Colombia?
Those are the main ones. Yeah, I'm facilitating in the men's circle once a month, so that's one event. My own ice bed events. Now I'm working with Mike, so we have that collaboration going on for exclusive community. What we have done, the ice yoga
Yeah,
events with a lot of women. That's another type of event. I'm always open to plug into events. For me, plug in is like, hey, Reem, I have everything together. Show up and do your thing. I'm open to those collaborations versus putting in my own time. Like, hey, what do you think about the marketing? What do you think about the videos? What do you think about the microphones? And this. That's for me. Like, I'm selective on those ones, and that way I can be mindful of my own energy and time, and still have these events where I'm involved. And on top of that, I join events. Thomas, he's doing some events for like a seven figure club. Um, I'm in those some of them, and sometimes there are people like, for example, public speaking courses or trainings, and those networking events. There's a breakfast club. I'm there, so I'm joining some from time to time some other events to meet people and have it all mingled up. They can join my events. My events, I bring them to these events. So that's where I'm growing. I've seen like the more I serve people, they're like, oh, you were at the breakfast club the other day. Let's say on a cigar night. Oh, you were. I saw you this photos. Where was that? Oh yeah, it's a breakfast club. We do like this and this and this. Oh, I want to come try. Yeah, come join, man. So I'm connecting people with themselves. I've seen that the more you help people, the more they help you back.
yeah,
Generally speaking, unless you have one of these rotten apples, it's never coming back. It's like, okay, I appreciate it, but at the same time, I'm not putting more time in those.
yeah. That's what we talked then about providing value.
Yeah.
But I think creating a network effect is very important because I think it provides a lot of value if you connect people together. If you can create these network effects, and it just grows like then also naturally, because then you have people reaching out to you, and people actually coming to you and say, hey, there is this event, do you want to join there?
Yeah.
And then do you have your own stuff, you bring people in that you actually want to connect with, and then it creates like this huge effect, and from there it just grows. So I think that's especially for people that are more into themselves, and I think it's very important for them to realize that it's not actually that difficult to do.
Hmm.
You just go to some events, but then you can also think about, okay, what small things you can do by yourself, and
Yeah.
then inviting people into your world,
Hmm.
and inviting people to join your stuff, and then you are the leader, you are showing the qualities, which is then actually also attractive to the opposite sex,
Yeah.
if this makes sense, and it's then less, how I can say, direct, like we talked before, like going direct into cold approach or doing things. But if you also create like an environment where you have to control, where you are the leadership, and you bring then people, girls, or other guys in your world, and kind of see, okay, oh, that's Julian, that's Reem, he's doing some cool stuff, which then creates also the attractiveness that you probably can also then profit in other situation,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. And one quote that they say, it's like your net worth is your network.
Yeah,
Also, like
yeah,
the size of your network is the size of your net worth. It is giving you money. But that's interesting. It's not only like, oh, I'm networking for myself, but that only works if you're in service for people. So it always comes in two. The more money you earn comes from the more people you help. And that's where the heart needs to be involved. Like, do the things that you love doing.
yeah,
For me, it's clearly ice baths and cigar nights, as I've said. I love it. I'll bring my best. And yeah, that is being seen and being valued.
yeah, yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I love the insights. Um, yeah, maybe before we close up, some final thoughts. on personal transformation and social success. Yeah, what's your final thoughts?
The final thoughts on transformation and social
Yeah,
success. One important one for myself is showing up present and with a good energy and being open to meet people. Like I can, when I walk in a room, let's say, I'll open the door and I walk in a room. What's going on? Am I thinking, oh, there's a lot of strangers. Who to go first? Like I don't know anyone. Is that my state, or is it like I'm feeling present, I'm feeling relaxed, I'm smiling, and I'm just curious who to meet? Like everyone here, let's say 20 people, they're 20 unique worlds, right?
yeah,
They all have their world. They have their upbringing, they have their stories, they have their profession, they have their hobbies. And I'm curious to meeting them wherever they are. And there was one girl, for example, I approached in front of the mall, and I I thought there was a thought in my mind like, oh, it's an average girl, one of these random Colombians, not much going on. But I was curious, and I saw this thought, and I worked with it, of course. Like I'm open to go there, and I found out she had like this amazing passion for playing the violin. And when she talking about like, yeah, like I'll clean the instrument like this, and I go practice, and the teacher tells me stuff. And in the beginning, I was struggling, and then I make progress, and now I can play these complicated Beethoven songs. And I'm here with a team, and we go have like dinners and some picnics together with our orchestra people. And I'm just like captivating by a story like that. And I don't like myself to play the violin, but I can bounce on her excitement and I can get involved in that. So I'm always showing up with the openness to meet people and be captivated in their lives. I'm very curious to their worlds.
yeah, yeah. I think curiosity is
Yeah,
very important
yeah,
in general. Being curious about
yeah,
what does the other guy actually do?
yeah.
Do other people do? What are their passions? I mean, one of my passions is, of course, I'm Brazilian. I like football, soccer, or
Hmm.
however you call it. So if somebody asks me about this, I'm very passionate.
Roberto Carlos, man,
Yeah, Roberto Carlos.
1996. He scored a goal from almost at the corner position.
Yeah, he do a lot of goal. I mean, you probably remember the most famous goal was against France with this free kick.
Yep. But that,
He's like, yeah, the ball goes like this and
yeah.
then goes into the net.
It's honestly, I'm not saying because you're from Brazil, but
Yeah.
Roberto Carlos is honestly my favorite football player, man.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just how what he can do to that ball with the magic that it starts spinning. A later, like after a while, it's like it's insane.
Yeah, yeah,
It
I
almost
really
like
like it.
defies the laws of the gravity and everything and the laws of the physical world.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
if
a
some,
magician.
yeah, if somebody can do it, then probably
Yeah,
probably him with his free kicks, which
yeah,
were amazing.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So where can people find you when they want to connect with you? How can they get in touch with you to learn more about you?
Yeah. I have a website. It's remimewis.com.
Yeah.
REMIMEWIS.com. That's my website. It's not fully up to date, but you can contact me there. I'm posting most on Instagram, which is Reem underscore Ice, REEM underscore ICE. That's where I'm present. And you can find me here in Medellin, Laureles, Poblado.
Yeah. In every social event, you can find
Yeah,
a Reem. Just look
yeah,
for a Dutch guy. Who is the Dutch guy in the room, and they know. Okay, it's Reem.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, but we will link let's say everything in the description,
yeah. So
so
link is there.
so
Yeah,
people can connect.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mhm.
It was yeah, a lot of great
Yeah.
information. I think people will get a lot out of it. And yeah, I'm really happy. Um, yeah, that you came on. We discussed these topics,
Hmm.
and tomorrow we will have you will join my event. I will have a cool
Yeah.
event
Yep.
planned. Let's see how is this is working out. It's
Hmm.
always these. Well, one day you think, okay, how things are working out, are people coming, how many people are coming. It's always still, although I did already a lot of different events, it's always still like this feeling of, okay, I'm very excited. And yeah, it will be great to have you tomorrow.
Hmm.
And yeah, help me with the ice,
Yeah.
with the ice stuff.
Looking forward, man. Like I've met you, Julian, like a while back. We did this event already together, like with ice and
Yeah,
coffee here in the yoga and coffee here in the place. And yeah, I saw like in you, like I saw your good heart to help men connect, help women connect, like network, and that way, like yeah, show making people show themselves in the world by connecting with other people. And you're very passionate and driven about it, so that's great that you have this work that you do for the people.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, I appreciate it. And yeah, thanks, thanks for coming on.
Hmm.
And yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Great, good.